This episode is going to be for all you boozers and absolute, I was going to say heavy users.
Heavy users? Yeah. Party goers.
You party goers, you party people. What we're going to do is...
Hey, party people.
It's Pitbull, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
the bald-headed bloke.
and Neo, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. What we want to do is we want to do a episode talking all about how to avoid the dreaded hangover, the come down, you know, the Monday to Wednesday when you're not feeling yourself. But before we do that, the reason we're talking about that is because Dog and I had a big session, Printworks,
Wow.
grand finale. I mean,
Wow.
That's why we've got the lights at the moment. I know you're listening to this on a podcast right now, so you probably can't see the lights, but we've got these £20 lights.
LEDs, red. We're feeling cool.
I thought it was a good idea at the time, bought them.
We're feeling funky back in the rave.
So what we're going to start doing is some Star Wars like type laser show, yeah.
Stop doing full force.
What we should do, we should buy one of those, you know, those rotating disco balls, and just have it on in the background or above us. But what we're going to come down to is, for me, Printworks, if you don't know what Printworks is, it's a venue in London, and it is an iconic venue in my eyes because it was the first ever venue I went to when I really got into like house music, dance music as such. I used to be a big EDM man, and so I used to go to Creamfields, and it was all just like, let me hear the bass drop, and you should be jumping around. But I found a love for kind of dance music. Fion's always had a love for dance music. I think he's more passionate than me about music itself. But we kind of have this thing that we do together. And without getting emotional, Printworks is shutting down in April, and it's the first venue I went to that for me was like, wow. Agreed?
Yeah, 100%. It was one of my you took me there for my first one, and ever since that point I've been hooked on the place. It's like nowhere else. It's essentially what it is it's a big warehouse. It's an old printing factory in the middle of London. You enter that place. Sometimes it's day events, sometimes it's night events. I've been to a few of both. And you just get lost in the place. It's 6,000 people capacity. And for me, one of the best things about it is the sound system. I'm not sounding like a bit of a geek, but you go along to that place and the quality of sound in the place is it's unmatched. So yeah, sad that is shutting down. But before we started this podcast, I thought what a great idea to kind of tie it into how things like that make you feel, because it's always great at the time, but the after effect, as we all know, isn't the best. So how can you set yourself up properly for going along to these things? How can you kind of enjoy yourself the most and have it not affect your work and home life as well?
I think for me is I always know I'm going to feel terrible the next few days. So instantly it already puts me off wanting to go.
Yeah.
So I stand and think to myself, do I really want to go? And I have this battle with myself about, is it worth going? I argue myself all the time. Sometimes I go, it's not great, and I'm like, I really wish I didn't go. Spent a ton of money, feel terrible. Other times, like the weekend, just gone, I was like, sign me up again. I'd go this weekend.
Yeah.
Because the way I feel right now, and also I loved it. Music was great. Everything was on point. It makes me feel like it's just brought me back in.
Yeah.
Whereas I felt like recently I've kind of lost love for it. Yeah. And now I'm back. But what I would say to anyone out there suffering from the old, Sunday blues, the hangover, you're feeling terrible, you should get everything organised with your work or your actual working life, or if you're a student, your student life. Have yourself prepared. Have yourself prepared and planned on the Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So my thing was, I got all my food ready to bulk cook on Friday, so I knew all my lunches were sorted for the next week. I went to the shops after work Friday, pre-cooked everything. I then sat down, I mapped out everything I need to do next week, and I preempted that I was going to feel terrible, so I gave myself easier days, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I knew this was in advance. So if you're a weekend session and you're going out all the time, then it's probably not going to work for you as well.
Well, it's harder, isn't it? Like, because this is something that you do. Well, this is your first thing since you didn't even go out New Year's, did you?
No, I didn't go out New Year's.
So when was the last time we went? Was it Warehouse Project?
No, because I went to that
London
thing in Glitterbox, and I vowed to never go out again.
So when was it? When was that though? Like November?
October, November. Yeah, I think it was November time.
So like 4 months ago. So
yeah.
you've been planning this for a long time, which yes means that you can kind of lay things back. Now, what a lot of people might listen to this and think, God, that's so anal, that's so boring. Imagine like getting yourself prepared to go out and stuff. You just wait until how you feel afterwards, because everyone knows how they feel afterwards.
Yeah.
And you've taught me 100% that having things prepped, like your week after, knowing where you're going to be, kind of dialing things in. If you're someone who is maybe self-employed or dictates your own kind of work, like you say, having a bit of an easier either start to the week or whole week, depending on how you're feeling. Making sure that things like, I think your mindset is one of the important things as well, is like you say, prepping yourself for the fact that you know you're not going to feel that great.
Yeah.
Because if you already admit that or kind of preempt that, then it becomes easier. If you're kind of, expecting to feel as normal and then you're not, it just makes you feel even worse.
I felt better on Sunday knowing that I didn't have anything to stress about on Sunday.
Yes.
Whereas if I knew I had to spend an hour prepping food, I had to get my bag ready, plan my week out.
Yeah.
I had a ton of people I got a message back about work-related stuff. Then that would stress me out.
Yeah.
But actually knowing that I did everything on the Friday, I didn't have anything important to do Monday, Tuesday, and all my food was done.
Yeah.
That to me was like, right, I'm going to kick back and relax now and enjoy it. I ended up going for a 2-hour dog walk and went sauna steam. So I still had a great Sunday.
Yeah.
But for anyone out there who's really struggling from that kind of like the hangover, it's just trying to manage as best you can. So if you just eat a ton of crap food, i.e. a load of McDonald's, one McDonald's is fine. But when people go like McDonald's on the way back, Domino's in the evening, they don't drink any water, they don't help themselves, do they?
Yeah.
You've got to expect that you kind of like, I always think about it, if you've done the crime, don't complain about the time if you haven't done the crime. What's the saying? Don't do the crime,
if you can't do the time. Yeah.
That's a hangover to me.
Yeah.
Don't go moaning about a hangover if you've done it self-inflicted.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go out and enjoy yourself, you can either go with balance and think, right, a steady Eddie. Jones does it when I go out with him. He just takes it nice and level, doesn't feel too bad the next day. If you know you're someone that can't do that, I'm an all or nothing guy, go out, accept the consequence the next day. But if you set yourself up a few days in advance, so then you know that you've got everything organised, you're in a much better position. Don't go out on a Saturday if you know you've got a mega ram week the next week and it's the busiest week ever and you're super stressed about it.
But a lot of people do that because it's
like a stress, like a valve release in stress.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's like, oh, I know I've got a really stupidly busy week next week, so I'm going to go out and get like hammered so that I can just forget about it. And I think a lot of people, it also comes down to how much maybe you are on top of your game and how much you're enjoying what you're doing currently as well.
Yeah.
Because being someone who has been in the realm of going out every single weekend, it's always been the fact of the reason I've done that, and now that I kind of think about it a bit more rather than just brushing it off to the side, it's the fact of the reason I'm doing this is because I'm either not on top of my game, so I feel like guilty, or I feel a bit like sad about the fact that I'm not on top of it, or I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, so I need to find some kind of way to forget about it or find a stress release. And anyone who you talk to who has maybe like, because there's a lot of podcasts and stuff going out about now about like ex-addicts and people who are like alcoholics or drug addicts or whatever, and a lot of the thing they say is it's something to take your mind off the things that aren't great, so you feel good for a short period of time, so you get the high and then you get the low again, and it's like this reoccurring cycle. If you've got things in your life which you find genuine joy in, which are natural and raw, these kind of nights out and these kind of the frequency of the things that you are doing is going to massively decline in turn, which will make you feel better in terms of your mood, your energy, relationships with people. So it's about having a look at what you are currently doing Monday through to Friday. Is that complementing your life? If yes, great. If no, then you're probably one of these people who sessions hard Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, maybe even does a midweek Wednesday session.
Oh, midweek Wednesdays. But it's also like, I look forward to doing different things. So for example, George messaged me earlier and was like, let's go watch Bath Saracens, like May. Get the train up there, bang, booze, come, all day, come back. That's the great thing, because it's something different.
Yes.
And I don't mind still waking up the next day and feeling a bit groggy from that. But people say that, oh, you don't need to drink to have a great time.
Yeah.
I find that hard.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. Like that might offend some people, and people might go, "Oh, you're a boring guy if you have to drink to have a good time."
Yeah.
But when you have a few beers, I'm not talking about you have to have like 10 double vodkas, right? If you have a few beers, 3, 4, 5, you have conversations that yeah, don't make any sense. They're absolute nonsense. But they're funny conversations.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff that we were talking about Saturday, it's just, mate, it's funny. I love it. I love thinking back about just nonsense. And it's just, you never get that from a sober conversation.
Yeah.
And albeit people go when it's rubbish, but when you're on the same level as each other and you're having these weird conversations about random crap, personal life, what you want to do with your life, that kind of thing, I think it's great. And they're the memories I'll remember forever.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff that was absolute chatting nonsense. And that's the conversations you talk about afterwards, how good it was. So for people who say you don't need to drink to have a great time, you can still have a good time, but you're never going to get those kind of conversations where you've said stupid stuff or secrets and stuff like that, where you're like, I really shouldn't be saying this. I don't know why I'm saying it right now, but you just want to say it at the time.
You get the urge.
And I'll never forget those nights for me, and they're always like me parked to the thing. I've never got a memory of a sober night that I'm like, wow, that was amazing.
That was like 10 out of 10.
That was a 10 out of 10 night. I mean, I didn't need to have one beer, and I just felt absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I can still have a nice meal. Me and Bex can have a great time together.
Yeah. But that's a different environment though, isn't it?
Completely
different environment.
Winding down with either your girl mates or your boy mates, or, you know, we're not sexist, girls and boys together. You know, mix it in, chuck it in the back, right? Having those kind of conversations, having a night out, letting your hair down should be done. Does it need to be done every single week? No. Does it need to be done maybe once a month? I would agree, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Once a month, let your hair down, let it, you know, book it in, do something you're going to enjoy doing, do something you look forward to doing.
And do something different as well.
Yeah, but make sure you plan everything in advance, get everything organised, get the kids sorted out, get work sorted out, you know, get plenty of gym sessions in beforehand so you know that you're going to feel terrible the next week, but you can make up for it.
Yeah.
That's our advice. That's what we're going with. Listen to it, implement it, or if you disagree, reach out to us. Would you agree with that?
Always.
Always message. If you disagree, I won't reply, but...
Drop a comment below, we will delete it. But it's good for the engagement, so stick it in there.
Yeah, stick a comment in. Just be like, even if you insult us, we'll just make up an alias and just say it was amazing. All good.
And we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for listening. As always, the podcast is here. It's always going to be here. So share it, like it, comment on it, whatever you do. And we'll see you next week.